Happy Valentine's month, everybody. I'm the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to share with you some of my favorite Valentine's Day episodes from TV shows or even movies. Not everything is all lovey-dovey. Sometimes Valentine's Days deal with heartache and everything. So, some episodes will be romantic and lovey-dovey, while others will be very sad and heart-wrenching and stuff. But love is love. It doesn't always come with smiles and giggles and glee. So, I'm here today to talk to you about Power Rangers Beast Morphers Season 2, Episode 8, Secret Struggles. So, this is a love story of forbidden love. We have Nate and we have Zoe, the yellow and the gold ranger. And they secretly like each other. They've had feelings for each other for quite a while now. And it's actually against company policy and everything for Grid Battle Force. Commander Shaw will not allow two Rangers to date. So that makes you wonder about the whole Ravi and Roxy thing. And so because of this, they have to hide their feelings and they cannot date. They don't even really do it in secret. So this episode has two huge reveals. It's revealed to the rest of the Rangers about the whole Zoe and Nate thing, and of course there is the Mayor Daniels thing and the Evox thing. And so Beast Morphers for the most part was a pretty good season. It was fun, it was nice, it was colorful, it had a really interesting innovative theme, and they was really trying to push the limits of showing that, hey, we're new, we're Hasbro, we're trying to do our best. It was kind of like a hybrid kind of season of the Neo Saban and the whole Hasbro thing. And for the most part, it was really enjoyable. There are some things that are kind of irritating, you know what I'm saying? And some things just don't make absolutely no sense. Like the vault of Ranger stuff, how in the world exactly did they get their hands on those things, That still makes absolutely no sense, but hey, yeah. So in this episode, Still, who is the android kind of brother of Nate. It's kind of hard to explain. Basically, he was working with some DNA, his DNA and his morpher, stuff like that. And I think he was working with a beetle DNA or something like that from the Morph X stuff. And so some shenanigans happened with the bad guys, and then it ended up making kind of a twin brother version in this robot form thing. It's been a while since I've seen it, all right? So that's all I remember. And so Still is a robot android who wants nothing more but to be human. His personality is very colorful, very plucky and everything. He's always calling Nate bro. Nate always wanted a brother. Nate is the nerdy child prodigy who's a scientist and stuff. And Nate has a very shy demeanor to him, where Still has a more outgoing personality. And so Still wants help with his Zord, but Nate doesn't want to do it because he's really tired. Not only is he a ranger, but he is the scientist and stuff. So in some ways, he's kind of like the Dino Charge Purple Ranger, Kendall and stuff, kind of. Except for she was a bit of a mentor. And so, he just doesn't want to, work on it right now because he's, super tired. But then in comes Zoe, and she wants help on her Zord. So he's all like, you need help? Sure, I'll help you. So this confuses Still to the point where he doesn't understand why, Nate will help out Zoe, but not him. And so, I think either Nate tells him why or he figures it out on his own. It's because Nate has feelings for Zoe. And so Still is overwhelmed and everything. And he's happy for Nate. But he knows that they're not allowed to. I think Nate tells him, I think. I think that's what it is. And because he figured it out, but then he questioned Nate or something like that. And so, like, it sucks not being able to date who you want to date. But I understand company policy. People who work together should never date. Look at all these celebrities who work together and cheat on their spouses and all this other stuff. Or they just start dating and then all of a sudden they break up because they realize, oh, wait, we're not together 24/7 filming on this show or a movie, and now I don't like you no more. Or my acting career is better than yours, so I don't want you no more. And so, like, because of this, still really wants to get these two together, you know what I'm saying? Because he loves Nate, he's cool with Zoe, and he just wants Nate to be happy. So he starts brain scheming some stuff up with Betty and Ben. And so around this time, the mayor dude, he is talking to Robo Roxy, which I never understood this. In season one, they had avatars and they was placed in comas. And like I think it's Chase and Roxy. And so when they got free at the end of season one, I assume we will be seeing the real like Roxy and I guess his name is Chase. But instead they go about their separate ways and then they are the villains create these robot versions of them. Why? I don't understand that. Like, why not have all of them, like, you know, the humans and the robots and stuff? That's one thing I never understood about that season. But anyway, so Robo Roxy, she is talking to Mayor Daniels, and Mayor Daniels has been infected with the Ebox virus and stuff. So the Morph X helps him stay in his human form, and he needs more of it. He's like a junkie and everything. When he doesn't have it, he starts to cough, and basically he'll transform at will, without will and everything. And so he needs the robos to, like, you know, get the Morph X for him. Well, Zoe sees, like, you know, the mayor and Robo Roxy talking. So he devises a scheme to throw her off his scent, saying that Robo Roxy is trying to, like, you know, kidnap him and harm him. So she fights like her off and stuff like that. Oh, I forgot to mention, Nate created a spinning saber sword thingy or bopper or whatever. The design is interesting, but it just looks too much like a toy. And this is my problem with the Sentai. After a good while, all that stuff started to look like toys. The morphers started to look like toys, the Zords, the weapons, and it's just kind of like, you know, I get marketing so the toy sales can be big and you can have more money. But, you know, it starts to make the show look kind of silly. And then when it comes over to America, where they keep adding comedy and stuff, it makes it look more silly. So we get some comedic relief crap from Betty and Ben, mostly Betty spinning the saber around and acting. I hate comedy and Power Rangers so freaking much, boy. I'm so sick of it. Anyways, because of this, Commander Shaw puts a 24-hour detail on the mayor. So still he recruits that of Zoe and Nate. And so, like, because they're trying their best to hide everything, but he's trying his best to force them together. So Betty and Ben, they have these holographic ball things and they throw them on Nate and Zoe, and they are wearing like very fancy looking outfits and they look pretty snazzy, I have to say. Zoe looks great in her dress and stuff. It looks like she's going to prom. And so, like, they wear their regular clothes on the stakeout and everything, but they're eating ramen noodles. And so, like, it's funny because still he knocks over Nate's ramen, so they have to share it. And then we get like a Lady and the Tramp reference where they're eating on the same noodle about the kiss, but they stop each other. But then, you know, Nate's feeling it, boy. Like I'm telling you, they looking each other in the eyes. He putting his hand on her cheek and he goes in for the kiss, only to be stopped, I think by the bad guys at this point. And so, like, because of that, the mayor was almost like hurt and everything, you know. And Commander Shaw found all this out on the video cameras. Boy, she is pissed off. I gotta say, I like it when she shouts and she gets mad because the actress who plays her, I've seen her in one other show before, and I've never seen her in anything else. But to me, when she played this role, her voice never sounds like a commanding leader. Like, she just doesn't have that presence to her voice until she starts to shout. When she shouts, she starts to sound like a commander. And when she talks, I notice she talks very quickly and fast. And to me, it's just like, I like her as an actress, just not in this role, unless she's shouting at somebody. So, of course, she splits those two up and she puts Ravi and Nate on the same detail. No, Ravi and Zoe on the same detail. And so now they're watching him and everything, but things are getting worse because he needs that Morph X. So Robo, Roxy, and I guess Chase is what it is. No, Blaze, that's it. No, is it Blaze or is it Chase? I think Blaze is the actor who plays the Blue Ranger. Anyway, whatever the auburn looking dude costume color is, they steal like a little girl's tiara and they create like a monster. So of course, you know, the Rangers have to show up and stuff like that. But there's another monster, I think, that went big or something like that, who's attacking the tower. They're always attacking the tower. And so Devin goes in the Zord to fight him. It's some nice Zord battle action. And I like the costume that the Zord is using. Because normally they start to look like Lego figures after a while, but now this is actually a really cool Megazord looking suit. And so the Rangers down below, they're fighting like, you know, the monster. Ravi's getting overheated and stuff and has to cool down. And then Zoe ends up getting her butt kicked to where she demorphs. The monster is about to attack, but then Nate does the most heroic thing ever in the name of love. He jumps in front of the laser blast and takes them chest on. And he demorphs, so now they're both out of it. But Zoe, she ain't about to let her man get down and out. So what she does, she calls on the spin saber and she attacks both the robo human people thingy or whatever you call them. Like Robo, Roxy, and the other dude. Cause she ain't about to let her man get hurt. And so they like defeat the monster and everything. And so when they're back on Grid Battle Force, the Commander Shaw, when she's watching all this and watching Nate sacrifice himself and watching Zoe, like, you know, fighting without power, she realizes something. Maybe that rule is a bit too silly and these two really care for each other and should probably date. And, you know, Ravi mentions the whole Roxy ordeal about how, like, that's difficult and stuff. Because Commander Shaw is very stubborn. She doesn't want Ravi painting and drawing and all this other stuff. So she's starting to come around, which is a great thing because, you know, these two really like each other. When you like each other, you know, like, nothing should really get in the way unless you're a bad person. But of course, the big reveal is happening. Mayor Daniels doesn't have his Morph X. He runs out and in the street, he transforms into Evox. Everybody is shocked and confused about this, especially Devin, who cannot believe his father and Evox is one and the same. So now they have to go on a mission to save the mayor and everything. All in all, this was a pretty cool episode. It wasn't too comedic. There wasn't too much drama, like, you know, and it was a nice enough Ranger action stuff, which is one of the problems I'm having with Dino Fury, is that there's more drama stuff and less Ranger stuff. Now, wasn't that romantic or depressing, depending on what kind of video I just talked about? Okay, well, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And bye.